Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Big Screen Show. My name is
I'm
Victor,
Alex.
and we're back bringing you guys another movie review. I know Alex is so excited for this one. Has been excited for this one. I, to be fair, was also pretty excited for this one. But let's hop in it, right? Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga. Man, it's here, right? It's
Yeah.
out. We finally saw it. To preface, Alex is probably the biggest Mad Max fan I know. You're all up on that. You love that. You're a big fan, huge nerd when it comes to everything Mad Max, and I love that. You even played the video game, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I still. Oh yeah, I played the video game.
Yeah. So huge Mad Max fan over there. However, when it comes to me, I enjoy it now. I'm just not the biggest diehard fan, but Furiosa, I was definitely excited, potentially even more excited than anything else in Mad Max, because I'm a huge fan of Anya Taylor-Joy, as you know, and also, I mean, huge fan of Chris Hemsworth as well, of course. So, my general thoughts. Let's do general thoughts first. My general thoughts on this was, man, I truly enjoyed it so much. I think I've only seen Fury Road, and now this one. I haven't seen any of the other. I think it's the four before Fury
Three.
Road, potentially. Three is it? Yeah, I haven't seen those. Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan, but I definitely think I enjoyed Furiosa more than Fury Road in a way, just because um it gave a little bit more widened range of the wasteland and a look in different locations, which I enjoyed. I also just really am a big fan of Anya Taylor-Joy, like I already said. So I was like really looking forward to her performance. I think it was done perfectly, casting wise, especially when it comes to how they go about showing her at different ages and how perfectly all those castings were with in relevance to like her look and everything. I think that was done like fantastically. But I really enjoyed it. I thought the action scenes were great, a lot of intensity, a lot of shocking moments too, a lot of like, whoa, I can't believe that happened type thing. um and yeah, just all around just fun, enjoyable, good popcorn movie, very intense, very emotional as well at times. Yeah, I have lots of positive things to say, and I know you want to get into it, so I'll just give my rating. My rating for this movie was a solid 8 out of 10. Solid 8 out of 10. I would definitely watch this one again, and I really enjoyed my time, truly. Yeah, especially once Anya Taylor-Joy gets there and she really comes into her own. It is so awesome, her performance. I truly enjoyed it. But Alex, thoughts on Furiosa?
Oh man, for a movie that's been 9 years in the making, and again by George Miller.
Has
Yeah, oh
it?
yeah, this whole like prequel movie has like literally been thought of like probably like anything a year or a couple months after Fury Road had originally released back in
Mm.
2015, I believe the year it was. So yeah, it's really been a long time coming, but it did not
Wow.
disappoint because I'll tell you, Anya Taylor Joy perfectly encapsulated Charlize Theron's energy of when she was Furiosa, but Anya Taylor Joy just creates a lot more. She just deepens it and creates more context and layout of her story.
Yeah.
Because
Def-
like Furiosa, she really went through it. Because Anya Taylor Joy
mm-hmm.
just shows off this really phenomenal performance. Being then Chris Hemsworth as the antagonist in the film, I can tell that you can really tell from the movie that Chris Hemsworth just had like a blast, just being this like character
Oh
who's just
yeah.
like complete insane and chaotic. But all in all, the movie really did what really was as great as I thought it was going to be. I still put it below Fury Road, but I think what really sets us over a bit in Fury Road was the narrative story since you had like this central protagonist that and we follow its story completely. Whereas in previous Mad Max films, Mad Max is a character, but he kind of plays himself as like the supporting character in other people's stories, but still finds a way to create the focus and goes on like him as a reluctant hero aside. Since we have this character that was introduced in Fury Road, and again, one of the best characters that we've ever seen in a Mad Max movie before, like ever. So giving her this solo story just shows a lot more background and depth. And like you said, it definitely shows a lot more like greater scope of what the wasteland is. Probably almost more so than what was done in like previous Mad Max films. Because I only had because like in Mad Max Beyond the Thunderdome, we had Bartertown, and then in Fury Road and Furiosa now, it shows a lot more larger scope of what happens in the wasteland now, which is also introduced in like the Mad Max video games and everything too. So this also shows
Mm,
a great wider scope as
okay,
well.
sure.
Even like the vehicular action and warfare in this movie feels kind of like what it was in the Mad Max video games. But I will
Mm,
say the movie did have a bit of a shortcoming where it does have like an more abundance of visual effects, and you can kind of tell. But its action
yes,
and scope is just done so well, and still has a good mix of practical effects and stunt work with the cars. That's been a consistent work by George Miller in all the Mad Max films that he's worked on. So it also still
right,
works well. And again, its action is still phenomenal, but it doesn't really hit as much as it does in Fury Road, because like in Furiosa, it has impact, but it feels almost kind of weightless because you don't really feel that much more impact compared to how it was in Fury Road. But again, it's narrative story progress and how like really phenomenally looking the action looks, as well as like the continual use of like good color grading and visual scope and everything that just seems to have like particular cinematic shot where it just has like a huge spectacle of it. It just carries over, and I
mm,
think it's just phenomenally done. So after seeing this, everything for the performances by everybody in the cast, how it creates even more greater context, and how you see how it really connects to Fear Road and adds like more greater emphasis and importance to it. Like it enhances like the experience of watching Fury Road, especially if you're gonna watch Fury
sure.
Road before like after Furiosa. So it just feels like even more connected, and I just love it so much. So for me, I'm giving Furiosa a 9 out of 10. It's again behind Fury Road, but it's just close enough to it. But 9 out of 10.
Nice. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I agree with you on the VFX part, but we'll get into that in a second because now we have given you guys general thoughts. So there you have it. Those are our general thoughts. Spoiler free. If you haven't seen the movie, definitely go check it out. Especially if you love Mad Max, it's like without a doubt will not disappoint you. But we're about to get into some spoiler territory. If you don't know how things work around here, we try to bring you guys videos at least once a week, sometimes more. So please make sure to hit that subscribe button and stick around for more of that content. And if you enjoyed this video, please let us know by hitting that thumbs up button on there. But for those that are sticking around, this is our spoiler section. If you haven't seen the movie, go ahead and click out if you don't want to spoil. We're about to get into spoiler territory. But now, with that being said, Alex, I just really want to touch on quickly. Wasn't it great? Like how even the little Furiosa looked just like her as well. Like I was really impressed by that. It's not very often you get a young version of a character casted that looks so alike the adult version of a character. I think that was such a strong point in this, and it gave it more validity, if you will. What are your thoughts on that? I was like super impressed from the jump by
Oh
that.
yeah, I mean, oh yeah, seriously, I was like super impressed because like the actress that they got to play young Furiosa, Alila Brown, she was like
Hmm.
amazing because like really shows how there's because it shows how much they really do look alike, especially with with Anya Taylor-Joy in this grown up Furiosa version, and then when we
Yeah.
go back to seeing a young Furiosa like in the green place from her home
Hmm.
before she was taken. This really is a
Right.
greater connection to it because I think because Alina Brown is really able to pull off like this whole emotional aspect of Furiosa before she became like such a hardened road warrior type, and just makes that greater, deeper connection with Anya Taylor Joy when she becomes Furiosa, and just feels like a greater direct emotional connection that just continues on because young Furiosa, she was a survivor from like the very
Oh
beginning.
yeah. Yeah. She had to really stay strong. What's it called? Claw and just fight and just stay. You know what I mean? Like it was a whole like it was honestly props to her because it was you could tell in Fury Road that obviously she has gone through a lot of stuff, but we didn't know what that stuff was necessarily. So now seeing it all unfold is like, wow. Like honestly, Furiosa is my favorite Mad Max character now. Like yeah, like I
Yeah.
just it's just like the way it is, you know? Like I just love her, and like especially for her to be a woman in this uh world, you know, or French, you know, like it's just different because most of the characters are men and have different things about them that are like intriguing. So for her to be a woman and go through all that and just really be just as strong, if not most of the time stronger than most of the other characters, it's just badass. Like I love it. It's kick ass. Like, and I love how she really plotted and like kind of weaseled her way out of situations and eventually like hid herself as a boy for years at the Citadel. And you know, she's like great with like the mechanics and all the engineering and stuff. Like I don't know, she's just really intelligent and like really, I love
Oh
her.
yeah, it
Yeah.
really shows how she able to survive so well this long, and it also shows how resourceful she was. And it also kind of goes to show like how well that her mother and one of the Vuvolini people actually taught her to be so resourceful and craft. Because think about it, because like
Facts.
Furiosa as a child, she literally did not hesitate at all in anything. Like she didn't even hesitate to
Yeah.
actually kill a biker outlander just to keep the hidden plate, just to keep the green plates hidden, and that was like
Hmm.
badass because like, she was like tough like the very beginning. Like she was scared and stuff like that, but she knew that her determination and will to survive was the most important thing. So she had a very tough lesson or to learn as she was growing up, and she handled herself like phenomenally well. It still made her very more captivating to watch and everything too.
Yes, I fully agree 100%. And to be honest, I didn't expect the scenes where she was younger to be as long as they were. I'm not saying that's a negative thing. I'm just saying it really the movie really took its time giving context to that part of her life, because you know sometimes you might see a young version of an adult character for I don't know, a very brief amount of time. But you know, I mean, I can't speak to it specifically because I was so locked in on watching the movie, but like less than 30 minutes it was not. You know, like she was definitely young for a solid minute, and it gave enough context, especially with like her being taken, her trying to escape, her mother's death, then her like, you know, being like another one of the wives or whatever in that room or whatever. And you know, just like her whole journey with that, and then like her escape only for her to then like come back or whatever. And which by the way I thought was genius. Like she's just so smart, like the whole hair bit with the, it's just like, you know, I really, that's one of my favorite things I think I took away from Furiosa. It was her intelligence. Like she's actually incredibly smart at all ages, like from even from when she was young to obviously now, but she's like incredibly smart. But yeah, so to basically to wrap up my point is that I was like, I really liked that there was enough detail in her, for lack of a better word, childhood before jumping to her being more grown, and now obviously Anya Taylor-Joy taking over the role or whatever it is. But usually you don't get that when you like get an actor that's playing a young child. You get maybe a lot less screen time in that sense, just to maybe give backstory to like one or two little things. But this was like sufficient, substantial amount of information during that time. And I really enjoyed that because that's just more detail, you know?
Yeah, I honestly would like it more so how we figure out how Furiosa when we get to what her character is in Fury Road. We also kind of see how like she was basically taught to be a road warrior. Like she was already skilled enough to like be able to handle
Yeah.
so much violence. But the fact that she spent years behind the wheel of a war rig that she helped make, or like a proto war rig, since we got a different version of the war rig in Fury Road. But the fact that she actually had like this mentor and like this emotional connection with somebody that basically taught her the skills needed to become a road
Yes.
warrior as skilled as Max to be his equal in Fury Road.
Yes. Yes. And on that note, shout out that guy. I was really, for a second there, I thought they were gonna like run away, fall in love. Like I was like, I don't know. You know me, I'm a hopeless romantic. So I was like, but I love their vibe though. I love their like he definitely like in that situation when they first meet, so to speak, he definitely like proved to her, or I'm sorry, to him, she proved to him and that she's special, you know? He could tell, and that's why he came back for her, and he was like, "You gotta come with me, because you're special. I'll show you everything you need to survive." And so, in a way, like you said, we met her mentor that gave her the ins and outs on how to survive out here, right? Because at the time, she was strong and smart, but definitely inexperienced in all the things that came after. And I think with that time, in that time that she spent with him, obviously she gained all that knowledge, and now I mean, shoot, she started driving the rig, and that's how you know there's full trust there.
Oh, yeah,
That's
absolutely.
as soon as I saw her drive the rig, I was like, okay, they're like this,
Hmm.
and so, and I love that. But yeah, I guess we saw her mentor, and I love that. I love that. But did we ever get they never said his name, did
Oh
they?
yeah, he was Praetorian Jack.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Oh wait, that's right. You're right. Also, I like how he was like in on the three different towns, and because it just gave it this is what I was talking about earlier. I love how the movie gave a broader scope of the wasteland and the turmoil amongst everybody and everything. I just thought it was for lack of a better term, I like the enhanced angle on the politics of it all, if you will, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, even it's like even when it's in apocalypse, there's still some politics to play because basically the
Oh,
wasteland is because
sure.
the wasteland is like as apparently a delicate ecosystem between like the bullet farm, gas town, and the citadel and everything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then obviously they each have their strong points, water, gasoline, the
Bullets
the
and
the, the
weapons.
greenery. Yeah, yeah, all that. So yeah, and it's intriguing because I think we get just a little bit more of a perspective as to what's going on. And obviously, this is like years, a good amount of time before Fury Road. So, it's interesting to see like where the wasteland was at that time, you know? But Anya Taylor-Joy, fantastic, as we just said. But I want to ask you about the one, the only Chris Hemsworth. What were your thoughts on the man? We're both big fans. We love him. So what were your thoughts on him? His first role back in a minute.
Yeah, well, actually, yeah, ever since his movie Extraction 2 on Netflix, so it's been a.
Yeah, but he took that break or whatever. So this was one of those first projects back from that break,
Yeah, that's true.
from work and stuff. But yeah, I want to get your thoughts on him and his performance and also his character, because man, what a character, no?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna say surprised because I don't think I was kind of surprised about how his character actually had a little bit more depth to it. I just thought he was gonna be like more of
Mhm.
like what the other Mad Max antagonists were previously, but in this case, he like just regular like a crazy maniacal dude with his own little outfit for like the wasteland to show like in the wasteland you're insane. 'Cause that's pretty much how it goes. If you're in the wasteland, you're
Right.
out of your mind. Everything.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the thing of this, Hemsworth kind of shows off a little bit more depth to it, where yes, he's insane and psychotic, but also shows how he's very intelligent and kind of tactical, but still willing to sacrifice his own people to kind of gain a greater advantage over to his own position, to where he just wants to like conquer and power and just kind of, but also want to create this kind of like sustainable place for like him and his crew. Food, water, a lot of water, and things like that necessary. But also kind of holds like his own trauma and pain for his like because like even he's lost people. He's lost his own children, his own family, and that's just and also
Sure.
just made him lose his mind. It's like the same as like Mad Max, where he lost his family in the way in like before the peak of like the before Mad Max went out to the wasteland, and he just kind of lost his mind during that time too. But the thing is that
Yeah.
whereas Max is more the reluctant hero who chooses to be solitary and alone, Chris Hemsworth's character Dementus basically just goes to gather this crew and try to create this little outfit and just maybe just tries to like Oh, I don't know. He just has a different type of depth to himself. Where yes, he's intelligent, but he
Mm-hmm.
also has like this kind of like ego and pride that kind of gets in the way. Where he's literally just kind of just has
Hundred
that
percent.
insanity nature where he's like, okay,
Yeah,
things are
yeah.
gonna go my way. Okay, I'm gonna take a step back. I'm gonna replan, and I'm just gonna wipe you out and take what's mine by force. Because in the wasteland, you're basically the rules of the wasteland I take it by force and it's mine, or you kill me and it's yours. Simple
I
rules.
looked at him. Yeah, yeah. I looked at him in a way, and obviously it's not copy paste, but in my mind, he was giving me Mad Max franchise's version of the Joker in a way. Like just like kind of crazy, still has intelligence, unpredictable, and also really funny at times. And he just had that kind of, it's that one bolt that's loose, that nut that's loose in his head. He
Mhm.
had that same one that I feel like Joker also has loose in his head. I just feel like they both share that one loose nut in their head. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but that's just kind of how I felt watching. I'm not saying he is, or whatever, but it was just like it gave me a essence. Like if you're going to bring a character like that into Mad Max, this is what it would be, in my opinion. And so, yeah, Dementus, Big D, because we have Lil D, but yeah, that, which I thought that was hilarious when he called her that,
yeah.
called her Lil
That was pretty
D,
funny.
and he tried to pass her off as his daughter, and it was just, I thought that whole bit was like hilarious. But that scene, for example, also shows his intelligence, like you said, because he in the end struck a deal that benefited him and his people in a gas town. So uh, that's just like even though he's there being funny, being extravagant, I don't know what the flamboyant, I don't know what the word is, right? But even though he's there with that like vibe, he still got like business done. And I think that's what you're trying to say. Like he just has a weird way of getting the means to the end, And I mean, a perfect example of his strategy is when he unexpectedly hit the farmer's town, and we were like, whoa, because he just definitely attacked this place. And now, then that's when like the whole bit, basically like the start of the war, really, that's like what led to the beginning of the war and everything. So yeah, well, my thoughts were great, honestly. Like, I mean, I definitely think the performance is stronger for Anya Taylor-Joy and her character, but that is to be expected because the focus is on her. She is the lead, and she needed to pull through on that, and she totally 100% did. However, with Chris, I was super, and it's a different role for him. It's a different role for him. You know what I was getting? I was getting Jason Momoa in Fast and Furious character vibe, just having fun with it.
Yeah,
That's what I was
yeah,
getting.
it's weird. I was thinking that too, but then I thought about like this is like the second role that Chris has played where he's an antagonist, and it is kind of version of like this.
Is
Yeah,
it?
it's kind of
What's the other
the
one?
other one was actually in the 2019 movie Bat Times at the El Royale, where he plays this like very charismatic, almost sensually type cult leader, everything like that. So it's
Huh?
like a comedy.
I gotta
So
check that out. I didn't watch
yeah, it's
that.
very underrated. It's like a combination of that performance along with Jason Momoa and Fast X. That case is like great mishmash of greater character depth, but also chaotic
Okay,
insanity of the wasteland for characters in the Mad Max universe. And I think it's a really good balance, and it's done like amazingly well by Hemsworth. It creates such a standout performance that's like adds more gravitas to also create a more antagonist to Anya Taylor Joy's Furiosa.
sure. Wow. Okay, I didn't know that. I thought this was like his first time, in that situation. But okay, good to know. I'll have to check that out because I love Chris and I want to see him in some different things like this. And I just think he did it so well. And also, one of my favorite parts of the entire movie was the end where I guess where he got killed or whatever, or where that standoff between Dementis and Furiosa was finally when she finally was able to catch him. I feel like that conversation was like super solid, and I just like really enjoyed that moment. And I think that was like some of his strongest acting in the whole movie because it was finally like one on one. The camera had some close ups from just him and his face, and he really just got some lines out that I felt were really really strong in his performance and a highlight, at least for me personally. But she planted the nut tree inside him, bro.
I mean, yeah, she really wanted to make him suffer because again, he even said that just
Dude,
killing me is never gonna be enough because like you want it so
right.
badly, and she really wanted to make his death and pain like in like just very long, it just to endure because she really wanted to really make it hurt for all like the years of trauma that she's carried so long, where he killed her mother and killed Praetorian Jack, the closest person that she ever had to like a real emotional connection, and again, he took it all away again.
Yeah, 100%. Like it was like this is what I'm saying. Like the movie has kind of some curveballs sometimes, and when I saw that, I was like, what? I was just
Yeah.
like, that is crazy. But honestly, good for her, and I agree with it. To be honest, I mean, another one. I mean, I was wondering when we were gonna lose an arm the whole time, right? Because like as we know, she has her robotic cyborg arm or whatever
Fury Road.
in Fury Road, and so I was like, but here's the kick, right? For a hot minute, I had forgotten about it. For like a good portion of the movie, I was thinking, I was like, oh yeah, when's that gonna happen? And then I completely forgot about it because I got so engrossed in the film itself, right? I was just locked in the world, just following along, and then boom, it happens, and I was like, oh, and I'm just like, she is a savage.
I said,
She's
I have
savage.
that willingness to survive. It's strong. She'll do anything.
Survivor. Survivor. I was like, dude,
Yeah, but
she's just badass,
I don't. And
yo.
I tell you, after that scene, and after we got some montage from like the 40-day war that happened.
Mm-hmm.
That was literally within those moments leading up to the final confrontation where Anya Taylor-Joy truly became Furiosa. Like she like, started cutting up
Correct.
her, because she started cutting her hair. She had determination to want
Mm-hmm.
to see Dementis taken out personally by her, and then the fact that she got her arm attached, and then literally she created then literally her tone of voice when she started speaking after she had cut her hair, that was like it was like I was literally hearing Charlize Theron's Furiosa. And I was like, did they get Charlize Theron to do like a dub over or something? Or because then Anya Taylor
Dude,
Joy like she perfectly encapsulated the voice, mannerism, and standing of Furiosa from Fury Road. And I was like, oh my god, Anya Taylor Joy, she did that. She is such a
she
phenomenal.
did
She's such
that.
a phenomenal actress. No wonder she's like one of the best of this generation right now. It's so amazing.
She's great. I'm telling you, you gotta watch The Queen's Gambit. She is absolutely incredible in that, and that is what made me fall in love with her. But also, to touch on that really quickly, for a second when she was cutting up her hair, she wasn't facing where the camera was. We were watching her from the back, and everything seemed so like Charlie's Theron that for a second when she turned around, I was like, whoa, is it gonna be her?
Right?
I was like, is it gonna be her? I don't know if you got that vibe, but I got that vibe because it was just giving me so much of that. And I was like, dude, did they like secretly like get Charlize back in the role? Is she back? Like, or just something like that, a little surprise or whatever. But obviously it wasn't her, but that's fine. And I was just like really, yeah, like you said, really impressed with how the continuity
Mhm.
the continuity is present. Let's just say that is the best way to put it, because even from like we were talking about earlier, from her childhood days to then when she's an adult in this movie, and then it seamlessly fits to what her essence and being and even look is in Fury Road. So it's all just super super like glued together and very cohesive, and the continuity is 100% there, and I think that's definitely a highlight of this film, no doubt.
Yeah, I swear, it just adds greater more context, and this is why what makes Fury Road even more better, even after a rewatch after seeing this movie. I swear, I love it.
Yeah, once it comes out on DVD, we should definitely do like a little we should watch it together, a little double feature, and then go Furiosa Fury Road just like continuously, and I think that would be such a
Yeah,
vibe.
yeah, it's like how we want to do watching Dune Part One and Part Two together to feel like the whole climactic big
Yeah,
story.
yeah, yeah. Right, right. Oh, which by the way, now that we have that on DVD, I should do that. But anyways, um last thing I want to personally talk about, if you have something else let me know, but VFX really quickly, uh kind of good sometimes, kind of bad sometimes. I don't
Yeah.
know if you
Oh
noticed that.
yeah.
I was with our friend Daniel. We went and watched the movie together, and at the end, we had a conversation. He was like, the VFX are great. I was like, I don't know about that. I don't know if you noticed, but when she first walks into the room as a child, Furiosa, to where all the other women are in the Citadel or whatever, and then there are girls that are coming down the steps. Those are all like video game characters. I don't know if you noticed that.
No, actually, yeah, I noticed.
Those were literally not real humans walking down those stairs. And I was like, what? Why are you CGIing people? You can't just get like real people to walk down some steps. I was like, and it looks literally like video game characters. Also, in the place where her mother, where she's from, where the green place, what's that place called
The
again?
green place.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I totally did that on accident. But so the green place, when it zooms out for the first time after she's first lost, all that back there was like CG, and it's the people who were like in the greenery and like doing farming or whatever it is, they were literally like glitching almost because they were literally like video game characters, like made out of CGI, made with CGI, and I was like, that's disappointing. Also, a little bit sometimes with like the bikes going on the mountains, you could tell it was like a little CGI because it looked a little iffy. So there was definitely some iffy times with the VFX, not necessarily the strongest, but I think the like you said the motor vehicle action and all that definitely makes up for it, and it looks great still. So I mean, it's really it's a tedious thing, but it's not a thing that I'm going to be like, don't watch this movie or this movie is garbage over. It's not that bad. It's not like the Flash bad.
Yeah.
But it is noticeable, and I thought we'd talk about it because that is I think a downside. But other than that, I thought the cinematography and the way it was edited was like really really dope.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah, especially with this one scene where it's like a battle to defend the war rig and stuff like that. It had a good, yeah. That was when
Mhm.
I could tell is mostly like CGI VFX happening around there, and that's why its impact for like the crashes, destruction stuff kind of feels a bit weightless compared to Fury Road. Where Fury Road, that was a whole lot more practicality and stuff like that. Where I think the only time visual effects was mostly
Okay.
used was during like the whole sandstorm was like during the whole like sandstorm scene during Fury Road and everything.
Right.
Well, whereas
Yeah, near the end.
where everything else then was a lot more like practicality effects, the drivers on the road and things. So like, I don't know why George Miller
Mhm.
decided to like try and change it a little bit with Furiosa and things like that. But like, I think that's why
Mhm.
again Furiosa is still like 1 point down from is still 1 point down from Fury Road and everything. So like, why Fury Road is still like the best one? Because again, even though Fury Road's story narrative is like, I guess someone could say isn't as much, but it still has a very strong core and the characters in depth that some people, if you pay close attention enough, you'll see. But I will say Furiosa does have a much more better narrative storyline, I think, compared to like other Mad Max movies.
Yeah, I think Fury Road, if you will, see if you agree with this. I think in comparison to each other, I think Fury Road is more linear, whereas Furiosa is more intricate.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but that's fine. That's not a bad
Oh
thing.
no.
But I think because of that same reason, I enjoyed Furiosa more. I have them rated the same, both 8 out of 10s. I love both of them and really enjoyed both of them. But as far as like my enjoyment, which one, if I had to pick one or the other to just like put on and watch, I'd probably pick Furiosa because of that same reason. But not in I don't mean that in a negative way at all. That's just what it is. But also, I mean, hey, Anya, that's my girl. I love her, Anya Taylor-Joy. She just smashed it, bro. She absolutely smashed it. But any final things you want? Any last thoughts you want to discuss
Uh,
before we get out of here?
no, I just want to say shout out to Mad Max cameo in Furiosa.
There you go. There you have it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for watching. This was our Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga review. We certainly enjoyed the movie. 2 thumbs up from us. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. But if you've gotten to this point of the video, I assume you've seen it. So, uh, we try to bring you guys videos at least once a week, sometimes more. So thank you guys so much for watching. We really, really do appreciate it. Also, if you enjoyed this video, the best way to let us know is by hitting that thumbs up button down there. because it really does help us out. And if you want to stick around for more videos like this in the future, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because again, that really does help us out. But with that being said, this was the Big Screen Show, and we'll see you guys soon. Peace out.